Okay, so now we're going to talk about the stomach. It's linked to the esophagus. Below the diaphragm, it's the stomach. It's on the left hypochondrial region and epigastric region. So if we drink more bottles of beers, so it would be enlarged, but 2 point is never changed. So number 1, it's connected to the esophagus. From the esophagus, so that's what we call the cardiac orifice. So it's on the left side of the T11. Then another part just connect to the duodenum. That's what we call the pyloric orifice. Pyloric orifice is on the right side of L1, lumbar vertebra. So these 2 points didn't change, but the body would be changed. So I will introduce the shape of the stomach. So let's divide 4 parts. Okay, cardiac parts is surround the cardiac orifice. From the cardiac orifice, we transverse line. So above this line, that's what we call the fundus. Then we have the angulus incisors. Okay, so I will show you here. So from the angular incisors, so we keep one line, so divide the pyloric portion. So between fundus and pyloric portion is the body, that's what we call the stomach body. Pyloric portion, we still divide 2 parts. Enlarged, that's what we call the pyloric atrium, and smaller, that's what we call the pyloric canal. Pyloric canal surrounds the smooth muscles, so that's what we call the pyloric sphincter. So this sphincter is very strong to control the food from the stomach to the duodenum. Cardiac orifice, still we have the sphincter, but this sphincter is very weak, not very strong. So sometimes the food would reflect to the esophagus. So okay, so we have the 4 parts of the stomach. The cardiac part, fundus, the body, and the pyloric part. Then we have 2 surfaces. So look at this specimen. So we have the anterior wall just direct touched to the abdomen. And then we have the posterior wall. So posterior wall just connect to the pancreas. Then we have 2 curvatures. On the right side is the laser curvature. And on the left side is the gluteal curvature. Then we talk about the mucosa. So the stomach mucosa is very strong because he would defend the gastric acid. So now you know the stomach function. So number 1 is secretion. So it secretes the gastric acid. So gastric acid is very strong, would be digest the food, and also its defense can kill the bacteria from the food. So sometimes we didn't care about the food is clean or dirty, because although it have the bacteria, it would be killed, most of them would be killed in our stomach by the gastric acid, maybe more than 90%. So that's the defense, protection, secretion, and also digestion and observation. So be careful. The stomach, although it's very large, but the observation function is very less, not main function. It's only absorb the water and alcohol. And we know the 4 functions of the stomach. So number 1, storage the food. So we can keep eating for more than 2 hours in Thanksgiving Day. And number 2, it's digest the food and absorb some nutrients, the water and the alcohol. Then he will have the protection, so can kill the most of the bacteria. Then finally, the function is the secretion, so can secrete the gastric acid, for example. Okay, digest the food. So the gastric acid is so strong, so it would be injury the stomach itself? The answer is yes. If you are depressed and if you are excited, so the gastric acid will secrete more than before. So it would be injury the stomach mucosa. So that's what we call the gastric ulcer. So it's a very common disease. So now you know who easy to get the gastric ulcer. So that guy always depressed, always excited. So look like a taxi driver because the situation on the road always changed. So his mind always keep excited. Okay, so now we move to the food would be pass through the pyloric orifice, then go inside the duodenum. So divide 4 portions: superior part, descending part, horizontal part, and ascending part. So now we focus on the superior part. Superior part, the gastric food and the gastric acid all coming in the superior part. So this, now you know the superior part also easy got the ulcers. So that's what we call duodenal ulcers. Then the descending part. The descending part is most important, so I will show you here. So why? Because the bile duct open here and pancreatic duct also open here. So the bile would come out in the descending part of the duodenum. The pancreatic juice also would be secreted here. That's what we call the major duodenum papilla. So bile and pancreatic juice all get together and then secreted here. So now we know the gastric acid would be involved, mixed with the pancreatic duodenum. So the food would be digested and absorption in all the small intestine.